A very good morning and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha Television. Well, it is the start of a brand new week and an action-packed Monday as well. Election for the next President of India is being held today, in which NDA candidate Ram Nath Kovind and opposition nominee Meera Kumar are pitched against each other. Also, the monsoon session of Parliament begins from today, where opposition is looking to corner the centre on several issues. All the details on those big news stories and much more coming up in the next 30 minutes, starting with the headlines. Polling begins for presidential election to be held till 5 p.m. Fight between Ram Nath Kovind and Meera Kumar. Monsoon session from today. Several bills to be taken up. Opposition wants debate on lynching and border issues. Prime Minister appeals for cooperation. "17 Amarnath pilgrims killed and 29 wounded after their bus skids off a Jammu-Srinagar highway. Prime Minister expresses pain, announces compensation." Floods claim 9 lives in Gujarat, 2 killed in Himachal Pradesh. The death toll in Assam climbs to 60. And Roger Federer wins record 8th Wimbledon title, beats Marin Cilic in straight sets in the final on Sunday. Our top story this morning: election to appoint the next President of India has begun. Now, the polling is taking place in Parliament House in Delhi, and all the state legislative assembly secretaries from 10 in the morning to 5 p.m. Now, total of 32 polling stations, 1 in Parliament House and 1 each in the state legislative assemblies, have been set up. The election pits opposition nominee and former Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar against the centre's pick and former Bihar Governor Ram Nath Kovind. All right, Electoral College, which elects the president through the system of proportional representation, comprises elected MPs and members of state legislative assembly. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his Goa counterpart Manohar Parrikar are among the 55 MPs who will vote in their state assemblies instead of Parliament House. And to become the president, either of the candidate needs to secure at least 1 vote more than 50% of the total votes polled. Results of the election will be announced on 20th of July, and the winner will be sworn into office by the Chief Justice of India on 25th of July. President Pranab Mukherjee's term expires on 24th of July. All right, my colleague Vishal Daya is joining us live from Parliament. Vishal, a very good morning. The election to the next President of India has begun simultaneously at the Parliament House and the state assemblies as well. And we understand that the Election Commission is using a serial numbered, some special pens for marking ballots in the poll. Vishal, can you hear me? All right, so the election to the next President of India has begun. Of course, so we were telling you that the election is going to take place simultaneously at the Parliament House and state assemblies as well. Vishal, if you're there, if you can hear me, the Election Commission, we understand, is using some unique serial numbered special pens with violeting for marking ballots in these polls.
Well, yes, indeed, Aishwarya, there are special arrangements which have been made for the presidential poll, polling for the post of president this time around. Now, the Electoral College has 2 types of members. One is the members of Parliament and other are members of the legislative assemblies. Now, the members of the Parliament will be given voting slips which will be green in color. And the members of legislative assemblies will be given the voting slips which will be pink in color. And both of them will be given a pen with violet ink, and they will have to mark their preference on that voting slip with that specific pen itself. If at all there is any other pen or with any other ink is being used, then the vote will be considered invalid. Now, this is a special arrangement which has been made for the first time for the post of presidential elections, and this is also likely to continue for the post of vice presidential election as well. This makes it really different this time around. And in addition to that, there is another very important piece of information that we have, is that almost 50 MLAs have sought permission from the Election Commission to go ahead and vote in a place other than their own assembly. That is, all the MLAs are asked to go ahead and cast their vote in their respective assemblies, but they can go ahead and do that at different places, that is in other assemblies or in Parliament House as well, but with the permission from the Election Commission. And out of those prominent names include the BJP President Amit Shah, who will be casting his vote at the Parliament House out here in a short while from now.
Yes.
Other important dignitaries who are going to cast their vote in the Parliament today will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is going to do so in a short while from now, and the leaders of the House in Rajya Sabha, Arun Jaitley, leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, as well as the Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Vice President Rahul Gandhi. Right. All these dignitaries will be casting their vote in the polling centre, which has been made out here in room number 62 inside the Parliament premises during the day. The voting will come to an end at 5 p.m. and then after 3 days, there will be a counting of votes and the result will be declared. And then we will get to know as to who will become the next president of India.
Right. You stay with us, Vishal. We'll just come back to you. And as Vishal was telling us that the polling will be on from 10 in the morning to 5 in the evening. It is Ram Nath Kovind versus Meera Kumar. And ahead of the presidential poll, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a statement. Let's listen.
इस सत्र अनेक रूप से महत्वपूर्ण है। 15 अगस्त को आज़ादी के 7 दशक की यात्रा हम पूर्ण कर रहे हैं। 9 अगस्त को सत्र के दरमियान ही अगस्त क्रांति के 75 साल हो रहे हैं। क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट के 75 साल का ये अवसर है। यही सत्र है जब देश को नए राष्ट्रपति और नए उपराष्ट्रपति चुनने का अवसर मिला है।
All right, let's go back to my colleague Vishal Daya, who's joining us live from Parliament. Vishal, now BJP strategists claim that Govind has nearly 63% to 70% of the electoral college votes, but it'll be interesting to see how really this pans out because, the cross-voting cannot be ruled out. So this is also, in a sense, a way to test the opposition's unity as well.
Well, Aishwarya, since the voting begins at 10 a.m. and it has already begun for the post of presidential candidate, it would not be proper to go ahead and speculate as to who might win. But then if you look at the electoral college and the kind of support which has been, specifically announced by the political parties, then it seems that, Kovind seems to have an edge over the opposition candidate Meera Kumar, because almost 40 different political parties have announced their support for NDA's presidential nominee Ram Nath Kovind, whereas Meera Kumar seems to have garnered a support of around 19 parties, including the Aam Aadmi Party, which announced its support just 2 days ago. So clearly, if you look at the numbers game, it seems to be favouring Ram Nath Kovind right now. But then, as it is said, as far as elections are concerned, nothing can be termed final till the time the counting has not yet happened. So let's wait and watch as to what happens throughout the day and what might be the outcome on 20th. But yes, when the polling has begun at 10 a.m., Ram Nath Kovind seems to have a clear edge over Meera Kumar.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vishal, for all those updates from Parliament. We'll keep coming back to you through the day to get all the updates on the polling to become the next president of the country. And it is also a very important Monday because the monsoon session of Parliament begins today. All right, so the monsoon session of Parliament begins from today and the session will continue till 11th of August. Now, on the first day today, both houses of Parliament will take up obituary references and may not transact any business due to the death of some of the sitting members. Now, 2 Rajya Sabha members, former Union Minister Anil Madhav Dave and Congress member Palwai Govardhan Reddy died during this interval period after the budget session. Sitting Lok Sabha MP from Gurdaspur, Vinod Khanna, also died during the period. Now, united opposition is likely to raise heat on the government over issues like lynching incidents and vigilantism, as well as the Kashmir issue and the border standoff with China during the session. The session is also likely to witness heated debates on other key issues like the fallout of the GST, the agrarian crisis in the country, and policy towards Pakistan. Some parties are likely to raise the issue of notification on a ban on cow slaughter and demand on an explanation from the government on its part. However, is seeking cooperation of the opposition in getting key legislative business passed, and government has lined up around 24 bills in the session that will have around 20 sittings.
इस मॉनसून सत्र में मुझे विश्वास है कि सभी राजनीतिक दल, सभी माननीय सांसदगण राष्ट्र हित के महत्वपूर्ण फैसले लेकर के उत्तम स्तर की चर्चा करके हर विचार में वैल्यू एडिशन करने का प्रयास, हर व्यवस्था में वैल्यू एडिशन का प्रयास हम सब मिलकर के करेंगे, ऐसा मेरा पूरा विश्वास है।
And a day before Parliament session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday told in an all-party meeting that the centre does not approve cow vigilantism. He called upon the state governments to take stern action against those who are killing people in the name of saving cows. However, the opposition wanted a full-fledged debate on the internal security situation, including a genesis of cow vigilantism as well as the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. A day ahead of Parliament's monsoon session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a fervent appeal to state governments to save lives of people becoming victims of forces who are disturbing peace in various parts of the country. He said criminals were taking advantage to settle personal scores in the garb of cow vigilantism. He said that law and order is a state subject and proper action should be taken against those who are indulging in killing or harassing people in that name.
गोरक्षा के नाम पर जो हिंसा कर रहे हैं, जो असामाजिक तत्व है, ऐसे लोगों के ऊपर कठोर से कठोर कार्यवाही करे सभी राज्य सरकार, क्योंकि कानून सुव्यवस्था राज्य सरकार का अहम जिम्मेदारी है।
However, the Congress and left parties wanted a debate on this issue as well as a proper reply from the government. They said that cow vigilantism has disturbed the fabric of Indian society and it is the responsibility of the union government and the BJP to take proper initiative to stop the sporadic incidents of violence against a particular community.
इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी में आप जो हम देख रहे हैं पूरे देश में 2-3 साल से गौ रक्षा के नाम पे जो लोग मारे जा रहे हैं, जान से मारे जा रहे हैं, पीटे जा रहे हैं, रोज इतनी घटनाएं हो रही है पूरे देश। ये भी देश की एकता के लिए ठीक नहीं।
Gaurrakshaks, the lynchings that are taking place, the sort of private armies that are going around the country implementing what they think should be done, etc. So this and the recurrence of attacks of Maoists in some parts.
Opposition parties also raised the issue of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad said that he did not agree with the centre's attitude and policies towards the state.
कश्मीर में जो हालात बहुत ही खराब हो रहे हैं, सरकार ने जो तमाम दरवाजे खिड़कियां बंद करी हैं, बातचीत के तमाम रास्ते बंद किए हैं, तो हमने इनको कहा है कि वेंटिलेटर तो खुला रखना चाहिए।
While there was a general understanding between the opposition and the government on the issue of the India-China border tension in Sikkim's Dokla area, the opposition is keen to raise the issue of agrarian crisis. The left wants a bill to safeguard the interest of farmers, privacy of individuals in the face of Aadhaar number and women's reservation bill. The Congress wants discussion on government's policies on the textile sector in addition to farmers' strife.
ये उनके लिए न्यूनतम दाम पर जो बेचने के लिए मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस जो है, जो वादा सरकार ने खुद किया कि वो 1.5 गुना ज़्यादा होगा खर्चे के ऊपर। इसको आप एक कानूनी तौर पर लागू करिए, वरना किसानों की रक्षा नहीं हो पाएगी। यानी एक राइट टू सेल एट द MSP लॉ, एक एक्ट आना चाहिए।
Monsoon session of Parliament begins today and ends on 11th of August. There will be 14 working days excluding Fridays that are generally private members' days in both the houses. The government plans to push 16 new bills in this session. Other than that, there are 10 pending bills in the Rajya Sabha and 8 bills are waiting for clearance from the Lok Sabha.
Due to continuous unrest in Jammu and Kashmir for quite some time and tension at India-China border, this session is going to be quite important. Though government has assured for debate on these issues, it will be interesting to see that how opposition is convinced with government initiatives. Akhilesh Soman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Anirban in Delhi.
And the National Democratic Alliance parties met on Sunday on the eve of the presidential election. The meeting was presided by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who congratulated NDA presidential candidate Ramnath Kovind in advance and assured him of his government's support. The Prime Minister also said the campaigns by the two presidential candidates and the parties supporting them had been very dignified and showed the maturity of the Indian democracy. The Prime Minister also told MPs that countrywide events should be held to mark the occasion of 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement, which falls on 9th of August.
इस बैठक में सभी एनडीए घटक दलों ने माननीय रामनाथ कोविंद जी का सराहना की और माननीय रामनाथ कोविंद जी हमारे राष्ट्रपति पद के उम्मीदवार अभी 40 पार्टियों के समर्थन से वो आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। जो मतदान है उस मतदान में सभी सांसद वोट करें और सही तरीके से वोट करें, ये माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी सबको निवेदन किया है।
And on Sunday, Congress President Sonia Gandhi met the opposition leaders in the presence of their presidential and vice presidential nominees, Sameera Kumar and Gopal Krishna Gandhi, respectively. She described the electoral contest as a fight between a narrow-minded, divisive and communal vision. Now, addressing opposition leaders ahead of the parliament session beginning today, she said that the numbers might be less in the two contests, but the battle must be fought and fought hard. Now, calling the elections ideologically important, the UPA chairperson underlined that the election represents a clash of ideas, a conflict of disparate values, which demands a vote of conscience to preserve India. She said that the presence of representatives from different parties to support Gopal Gandhi as well as Kumar confirms that the fight for an inclusive, tolerant and pluralistic India is being truly waged. Now, the voting for the presidential polls is taking place today and the vice presidential poll will take place on 5th of August.
Well, I'm really surprised that this statement coming from the chief of Congress party, what she is preaching, Congress has never practiced. Even last 10-12 years when she is the chief of the party, she never advocated this, and party had always believed in dividing the society between religion, caste, creed.
Time for a very short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
देश के नए उपराष्ट्रपति के चुनाव कार्यक्रम का ऐलान हो गया है। अधिसूचना के साथ नामांकन की प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है। 18 जुलाई तक नामांकन दाखिल किए जा सकेंगे। 19 जुलाई को नामांकन पत्रों की जांच होगी। 21 जुलाई तक नाम वापसी हो सकेगी। जरूरत पड़ने पर 5 अगस्त को मतदान होगा और इसी दिन परिणाम घोषित होंगे। राज्यसभा के महासचिव शमशेर के शरीफ उपराष्ट्रपति चुनाव के निर्वाचन अधिकारी हैं।
Seventeenth Amarnath pilgrims were killed and around 29 others were injured when a bus skidded off the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway and rolled down into a deep gorge in the Ramban district on Sunday. Now, according to authorities, the deceased, including 2 women, belong to Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Assam, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. 16 of the injured people are reportedly critical. The injured pilgrims are rescued and their bodies have been retrieved in an operation launched by the army, the CRPF and police with the help of locals there. The bus was carrying the 17th batch of Amarnath pilgrims. The bus of the J&K State Road Transport Corporation was part of the convoy of vehicles carrying 3,603 pilgrims from Jammu to twin base camps of Baltal and Pahalgam. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a tweet expressed pain at the loss of lives and announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each for the next of the kin of those killed and 50,000 rupees for those seriously injured. Meanwhile, the Sri Amarnath Shrine Board has announced a compensation of 3 lakh rupees to the next of the kin of those killed and 1 lakh rupees each to the injured. News from the northeast of the country and the flood situation in Assam marginally improved on Sunday with the water level receding. Now, rains have affected more than 10 lakh people in 21 districts of the state. According to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority report, 1 person died in Moregaon district, raising the death toll to 60. Now, 8 of them have died in Guwahati alone after the floods hit the state. At the Kaziranga National Park, 38% of the area is underwater, leaving some animals dead and some moving to nearby highlands. Meanwhile, authorities are running 280 relief camps and distribution centers in 15 districts, where 22,837 persons are currently taking shelter. Meanwhile, at least 9 persons have died and over 400 have been rescued by the National Disaster Response Force and the Air Force as heavy rains lashed many parts of Gujarat in the past 2 days. Now, Gujarat Revenue Minister visited the State Emergency Operations Centre in Gandhinagar and took stock of the situation in Morbi, Surendranagar, Rajkot, Jamnagar and Kutch districts. The Met Centre said that light to moderate rains would continue in many places over the next 2 days as well. Meanwhile, 2 people were dead after being swept away by the swirling waters of Beas River at Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. Flash floods wreaked havoc in Janvi areas as heavy rains lashed parts of the state. A landslide also occurred on the Kullu-Manali road in Hangoi, in which a temple was damaged, but no loss of life has been reported. Heavy rains lashed several parts of the Kangra district, while Mandi, Shimla and other areas also witnessed heavy rainfall. The weatherman has forecast heavy rains in the mid as well as lower hills today as well. And on to an update on the situation in Darjeeling. The protests there demanding a separate state of Gorkhaland continue. The protesters turned to guitars and musical instruments to protest on Sunday. No untoward incident has been reported so far. Internet services remain suspended as the protest entered a 33rd consecutive day today. As per the Calcutta High Court orders, 2 companies of the CRPF have reached the hills, while 2 more would arrive today. Meanwhile, Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha chief Bimal Gurung has warned that the agitation will turn violent if their demand is not met. Except pharmacy services, all the shops, restaurants, hotels and educational institutions remain closed. Supply of essential items have been severely affected due to the road blockades there. The hill town is witnessing unrest since 15th of June.
We want Gorkhaland. We have been politically, socially, culturally, educationally, economically exploited since long time. So we want separation from the Bengal. And we want our identity in India.
हम लोग का डिमांड यही है कि हम लोग को गोरखालैंड चाहिए, पहाड़ में शांति चाहिए, हमेशा शांति बना रहे, बच्चों लोग का स्कूल खुले, इस तरह से हम लोग का भी ATM वगैरह नहीं चल रहा है, बच्चों लोग को पैसा वैसा भेजने में बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है, सबके पास पैसा खत्म हो गया है, तो केंद्र सरकार से यही कहते हैं कि हम लोग को कुछ न्याय करे, न्याय दे.
And amid the ongoing political crisis in Nagaland, the Guwahati High Court will today hear a plea by Chief Minister Shirozeli Lizitsu. In his plea, the Chief Minister had termed Governor P.B. Acharya's order of a trust vote by 15th of July as unconstitutional, illegal and arbitrary. The High Court had last week stayed the flow test and posted the matter for hearing today. The Governor had ordered a flow test after former Chief Minister T.R. Zeli claimed that he had the support of 44 of a total of 60 lawmakers in the state's assembly. The Chief Minister had, however, said that there is no threat to his government. On to some other news now. Pakistani Army on Sunday said that their Chief of Staff will take the last call on the fate of Kulbhushan Jadhav, the Indian national who is under a death sentence there. The Pakistani Army Chief said that it is General Bajwa who was analysing evidence against Jadhav and will decide his appeal on merit. It said that Jadhav's clemency was rejected by a military appellate court and the final decision rests with the Chief of the Army Staff. Remember, Jadhav was sentenced to death by a Pakistani military court in April for his alleged involvement in espionage and terrorist activities. Now, Pakistan says that Jadhav filed a mercy petition before General Bajwa in June after the military appellate court rejected his appeal. The International Court of Justice in The Hague had in May halted Jadhav's execution on India's appeal. The ICJ has now asked India to make its submission in the case by 13th of September and Pakistan to complete its submission by 13th of December. Islamabad has dismissed New Delhi's consular access request as well as that of his mother to Jadhav more than 15 times. India has accused Pakistan of repeatedly violating the Vienna Convention.
I am not too sure whether he put up an appeal in front of the appellate court, but they say the appeal was and it was rejected. The appellate court has no option but to reject the appeal because the final case of his was prejudged by the Pakistani Chief of the Army Staff. In other words, he's hand and glove in the entire episode.
Army Chief General Qamar Bajwa is going to, consider his case, whatever may be. India had appealed to ICJ, and both teams are going to meet in ICJ once more to look into this matter, and it now depends upon the ICJ.
On to news from Venezuela, where a woman has been shot dead while waiting to vote in an unofficial referendum in capital Caracas. Now, men on motorbikes are fired at a queue, killing the woman and wounding 3 others. The opposition, however, has blamed a paramilitary gang. Now, video from the scene shows people rushing away from the gunshots. Venezuela is in crisis and more than 100 people have died in political clashes since the month of April. On to sports, and Roger Federer won a record 8th Wimbledon men's singles title, beating Marin Cilic in straight sets. The third-seeded Swiss superstar defeated a 7th-seed Cilic 6-3, 6-1, 6-4 in his 11th final at the All England Club in London. Federer became the oldest champion to claim a 19th Grand Slam. This is for the first time that Federer won the Wimbledon title without dropping a set in the entire tournament. That's all in this edition of news, but coming up next is Parliament news in both Hindi and English. Thanks for watching.